Wait, I thought you said he spoke to someone in the KKK, but now that you're saying it's a former wizard. Anyway, what do you mean? He's a wizard. How could he? They don't let wizards in, do they? I thought wizards weren't allowed. I thought wizard meant, you know, the J word. Telling me this guy's a wizard. Where's his cape? Where's his cape?
What's about?
Where's his wand? Oh, really? Okay, let's get into this.
Yeah, take your time there, bud. Well, we can. Percy.
Right, what's all this?
Yeah, we're trying to.
Jidion, I don't know if you're hearing us, but we can hear you. We just don't see you.
One time with the.
Oh, this is. Does he know that?
Oh, they just. Oh shit.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
We heard you screaming for
I sound like
Percy.
your grandpa right now. Yo, sorry, chat.
No problem.
This
Right,
Zoom
so, okay. I never covered this at the time. I don't know why. The Jidion Hassan drama. Is that right?
is foreign to me. I am a Discord user.
Yeah.
First thing first, I want to say WWAN in the chat.
WWAN.
You guys can.
Shout out. Jidion, shout out Jidion.
See a lot of Jidions. WWAN. I haven't seen that many Jidions in the chat before, but you know, hey, something new. But I can't hear anything right now.
Oh, you can't. He can't hear us.
Well then.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I see y'all, but
Not much of a dialogue. We can try.
hold up, Ethan.
We can
I'm gonna get this
try
fixed
Discord if you want.
really
connect
quick.
there.
My settings.
You want to tell him that? I can.
Maybe just hang up.
Video.
This is just. I mean, we can wait.
By any chance, you don't have.
Oh, he doesn't know
He's
that he
getting
can
close.
hear them. Right, he
Can you
doesn't
hear
know
us,
it
Jidion?
right.
You hearing us?
He asked about Discord just now.
Yeah, maybe just.
Discord guy.
Can I send him the Discord link?
Okay.
Maybe just hang up, Dan.
Yeah, man.
Wan.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. Let's kibosh this.
Oh, okay.
Try Discord. H3.
He said when.
Give you money.
We.
After we join the Zoom, let's.
What was
have
this
fun.
timestamp?
All right, Jidion,
In.
hear us this time?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
There you go.
Okay. Hey, welcome
There we
back
go.
to the show. Thank you for calling.
No, thanks for having me.
Jidion, nice to meet you. Nice to talk.
No, I just feel like it's been like, you know. There we go. Can you see my face now?
What? By the way, what is Jidon's deal? Is it Jidion? Am I saying that right? What is his deal? What's his? I don't know anything about this guy. All I know is it a beef with the Sun, and that's it. Like, where does he land politically? What's his views? Why is, you know, what's going on?
There we go.
Okay. What's up?
What's up, Ethan? How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
First thing first, Wan, I love you, bro. You're
Shout out.
WDans.
Shout out.
Wan.
Appreciate you.
WDan.
Whittian.
Yeah.
So, my editor was kind of telling me about the video. I haven't got the chance to watch your response yet because I was gonna watch it later on my stream. But he had told me that you were really upset about the thumbnail.
Jidion.
And I really don't even look at my second channel. He just posted the clips and stuff. So when he told me and I saw it, I was like, oh shit. I said change it. So
Okay, that's nice. I appreciate that. The new one's a little.
Wait, he's one of the leaders of the modern Black Panther movement. I don't know if you're memeing or not, but there is a modern Black Panther movement called like the New Black Panther Party or something like that. And they're not like the old Black Panthers. They're let's just say they got a couple of spicy takes, okay?
Weird though too. Maybe you can explain this. It says, "Look at him act like an educated African American." I don't know what that means.
I think I know what he was trying to go for there.
Oh, okay.
What?
Man, he's talking about your best friend Keemstar, I think. A little play on words.
Look at him act like an educated African American.
Do you not like that one? If not, I can.
I don't get it. It seems like it's another. Not that I know of.
I'll tell him after this to change it for you.
Yeah. So I guess. Well, since you're here, I guess we can talk about the video. Because you
Yeah, that's a
accused me
DK
of
meme.
what I felt was like a light jab about the most racist town in America video you made.
Yeah.
You called me a liberal racist, and I am intrigued by that. I just was hoping you unpacked it a little more in your video. So maybe you can do that for me here.
Nah, yeah. I don't think I called you a liberal racist because me personally, I don't think you're a racist. You know,
I think you said that verbatim.
I said that was liberal racism.
Okay.
This is liberal racism. So, because I said the same thing about Hassan. So,
Okay, so liberal racism. What does that mean?
so I feel like you know what conservative racism is, right? You know, your white picket fence, all American family. You know, hates immigrants, doesn't like the stereotypical racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's pretty much when you think of a racist, you think of someone that's outwardly like, I hate black people, people that are against BLM. That's what I think of, with racism. But then
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like what kind of comes under the rug and people really don't talk about is liberal racism. And what I think liberal racism and a lot of other black people in the black community, we feel like what liberal racism is like white people thinking, or not even white people, but it's mostly white people thinking they know better than black people, thinking like they have to save us. More of like a white savior complex.
Yeah,
like, you know, I'm pretty sure you heard of white savior.
This is definitely a thing that exists. And there's like so one of the most clear examples of this sort of form of racism is, you know, when you have like a black conservative person and it's kind of stated that they're wrong, not because their ideas are wrong necessarily, but because they're black, they're wrong. Like, you know, and there's obviously certain slurs that refer to this kind of person in their mind. Yeah, like low information voters, there's slurs that people use for them and stuff like that. And it's definitely a thing that exists, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, just because someone's black, you know, newsflash, doesn't mean they need to hold certain political positions, right? Now, obviously, I do think that there are some people where their political views might potentially cause a danger to their identity if those political views came to pass, right? So that would be like, I don't know, if you're like a black person that was like a white supremacist, which is a possibility, I still wouldn't use like slurs or something like that to describe them. But I think that you can kind of highlight, like, look, your views are quite extreme, and should your views come to pass, it might actually present an issue, you know, with your actual identity. And you can kind of point that out, right? But if someone is just like black and happens to be conservative, and they've just got kind of bog standard conservative views about personal responsibility, low taxation, whatever it is, I just think that it's really cringe to act like that's bad because they're a black person. Like, they've just got a different series of views. And the other thing as well is there are, within the black community, there are people who are certainly like socially conservative, if not fiscally conservative as well. And I think that sometimes there's this idealism that happens of like, oh, well, a black person should think these things because of their identity. And it's like, well, you know, their experience is probably different to, say, another black person, and that explains why maybe their views are different. It's nothing to do with their race as such, you know. It doesn't have to be anything to do with race. And I just think that it's so easy for people to reach for the slurs to call these kind of conservative black people. I just think, well, just address their points, address their arguments, you know. Why do you have to sort of like, you know, act like they're wrong because they're black rather than they're wrong because they're wrong? It just seems cringe to me. But I think this is the kind of thing that this person is referring to, right? I'm guessing.
You're right.
Yeah, I know what that is.
So
hey,
that's what I
thanks
mean
for
by
the sub.
liberal racism. So I just felt really patronized when you were like, oh, look at him parading for the KKK. And yeah, it was a light jab and stuff, and I got emotional. So, you know, that's on me for getting emotional. You know, I should have articulated my words a little bit better to get my point across. But, you know, we all say things we regret, right? Well,
oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily regret it, but I regret how I phrased it.
So how would you like to phrase it? Because I am interested in unpacking that.
I just felt patronized, you know?
Patronized.
Yeah.
So, like, because I guess the criticism...
Well, okay, what did he do? What did he do exactly to lead to H3H3 saying that? Because, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, if he went up to some literal KKK people and was like, I don't know, I can't think of exactly what he'd be doing. Like, what was it he did that made him say that? It sounds probably excessive, but I don't know the ins and outs of it.
He's redeemed.
Yeah. Now he's just running interference for the KKK.
Much more minor than.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I went and met the leader of the KKK. He's actually a really good guy, you guys.
He didn't shoot.
Who is he? Who did he meet?
Like, bro, I went and met the leader of the KKK. He's actually a really good guy, you guys.
He didn't.
Okay. I was just having fun in this video, but that actually pissed me.
Okay, is there going to be like a big old... It's not racist to love people. Okay, yeah. Right, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things that probably wouldn't be cool. Like a Confederate flag. Let's just chill out on this stuff, okay? Right, so the point of this is he goes to a racist town and he speaks to racist people and like tries to understand their point of view. Is that right? He met the CEO. Did he meet the CEO of racism? Is that what happened? So yeah, he went to a racist town, interviewed some racist people, saw the human side in them, and that's basically it, right? Okay, I don't want to watch the whole video. I just need the gist. I don't want to, you know, I just need the gist of what's happened so I can understand the timeline and the story, right? This is the timestamp. Okay.
You know what? Boy got this.
Are you the mayor?
I am.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. What's your name?
I am Jerry Jackson.
Mr. Jackson. Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus?
What's your name, boy?
What'd you expect?
Like you see the videos and stuff like that, you know, you expect racism and everything, but ever since I stepped foot on this land, like, I've been getting nothing but love.
I don't. You know, that video is one of the biggest lies that ever happened. They took advantage of a town that had that perception because of another lie.
No, and the goal was to come here and not try to antagonize, talking about, do you support Black Lives Matter? It was literally just to come here and just say, hello, how's your day going? We might have different viewpoints on religion or politics and everything like that, but at the end of the day, you and me, we bleed the same.
Absolutely.
We're both human beings, and I can honestly say everybody in this town.
Why are people talking about the KKK? This has nothing to do with the KKK. This is literally just like a mayor of some like backwater American town, you know, that probably haven't seen a black person since the end of slavery.
Treated me like a human being.
You know, you might be doing something for us that we have been trying to find for 40 years. This is not going to be a problem.
No, it is KKK. Wait, so when did he speak? Oh my God.
24/7 experts.
Listen, I'm not watching the KKK video on stream, okay? Listen, I'm not doing it, okay? I've got to be cautious. I would watch it if I didn't have a sponsorship. Jesus Christ.
Dude out there, and we asked.
With a former Grand Wizard. Wait, I thought you said he spoke to someone in the KKK, but now that you're saying it's a former wizard. Anyway, what do you mean? He's a wizard. How could he? They don't let wizards in, do they? I thought wizards weren't allowed. I thought wizard meant, you know, the J word. If there's tons of free... No, I can't say that. God, I tell you what, this is why I can never trust chat. I get mixed messages and I don't know what's going on, okay? So he spoke to someone that was a former Grand Wizard, okay? Right. Is he wearing the outfit? Is he wearing the is he wearing the drip? Is he wearing the drip?
This the gang? This the gang? We're gonna have a meeting. I know you guys watch the videos for jokes and everything like that, but this is not no joking matter. We're gonna let them know. It's bigger than black and white. Marquez Brownlee on me, Marquez Brownlee on 3. 1, 2, 3!
Marquez Brownlee!
Let's go.
What? No. Grand Wizard's like Gandalf. The Gandalf isn't racist. Listen, Gandalf isn't racist, guys. You got it wrong.
Oh my
I've never been on streets like this. I think we were going to visit a lost.
It's a bit loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay, we got some people right here. Hello, how you doing? Okay. I was trying to see if
He's like, what's going through this guy's head? What's going through this guy's head?
Mr. Rob was maybe here? No. I'm a YouTuber. My name's Jidion. I was just wondering if we could have maybe a little dialogue with Mr. Rob if he has any free time and stuff like that.
Right now he's getting different stuff together for the conference that's coming up. So
I heard about that. What can I ask what that conference?
You're telling me this guy's a wizard? Where's his cape? What's
It's about?
Where's his wand?
I don't know if there's any way maybe I could come. No.
Especially not.
Feel
with
that.
The paranoia some people have.
I mean, we aren't anarchists. Are we? We just.
Especially not with the paranoia. Jesus Christ.
Came here, it's America, you got the First Amendment, freedom of speech and everything like that.
Actually, I don't believe in that because if you have someone who can lose their job and their ability to support their family that they love, where they might have been brave enough to speak up They won't put their children and their wife at risk.
So do you feel like...
Wait a second. Hang on a second, though. This is a misconstrued... Part of the First Amendment is that companies can associate with who they want. Like, listen, I've got criticisms of the fact companies will get rid of people in certain circumstances, but it's not like... That's a First Amendment protection afforded to companies. Like, they're allowed to fire people if they want to, right?
Hear the truth is spoken?
Like, the First Amendment is designed to protect you against government... The First Amendment is designed to protect you against government intervention against your speech. Whilst I agree that obviously I'm a big critic of the way that companies deal with people and stuff like that, right? I think that, like, my understanding is part of the First Amendment is that companies have the ability, like, you can't force a company to employ someone if they don't want to employ them any longer, right?
I would say as much as can be.
From the videos I've seen online and stuff like that, I'm sure you've seen them.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting to just, like, you know, step right foot into town and then call the N-word, but...
If you would make you feel better, I'll try it for you.
Oh, man. I just kept on hearing people, they were like, nah, the racists aren't in Harrison, they're over in Zinc. And then they were talking about how, like, they, like, kind of kicked you guys out of Harrison.
Weren't you upset for the Bronx TikTok incident where the guy got fired for jokes? Yes, I was, okay? But what I didn't do is talk about, like, the First Amendment, right? The point, yes, I can personally have a criticism of it, but it's still wrong to invoke the First Amendment in a complaint about getting fired, because part of the First Amendment is that companies, my understanding of it anyway, is that companies have the ability to fire people, and you can't force a company to keep someone on if they don't want to keep them employed any longer.
No white person, for the most part.
Do you understand? Do you understand, or are you complete? Are you a complete moron?
Seek out diversity. They'll give lip service to it and move as far away as possible from it. Put up gated communities. Spend their money.
Me personally, like, I agree to a certain extent and stuff like that, you know. As black people, you know, we look out for each other, you know. It's like, you know, people say black power, they look out for black businesses and stuff like that.
The response to companies doing this is nothing to do with the First Amendment as such. It's to do with increasing employee protections, okay? Talking about the First Amendment is a mistake because the way that you resolve that situation is nothing to do with the First Amendment. What you need to do is improve employee protections so that companies aren't as able to get rid of someone because they say something you don't like on the internet or something like that, right? That's it, okay? If you don't understand at this point, you're stupid.
I'm not a segregationist, I'm a separationist. Every white country and only white countries are expected to become melting pots of humanity. And that's my stance.
That's not even true.
I'm not here to change anybody's mind or nothing. Like I said, like, I just want to, like, I feel like the conversation should always be had because I feel like for there to be improvement into the future, you have to hear something different than your own opinion.
I often get an assumption made about me, and they wonder if black people did something bad to me. No, white people have done something bad to me, and I don't hate them either.
Yeah.
But it's never about that. It's I have a certain set of beliefs.
I wasn't expecting to come here and have, like, a civil, you know, conversation like this, but I came here with the heart to.
I mean, yeah, skeptical. That's the other point as well, isn't it? Right? Like. Like it's funny that they can see it from, like, they go back until the beginning of, like, white people in America and they kind of stop there and they don't think about further than that, which is where obviously indigenous people were here. God, these people are so stupid. It's unreal.
And I appreciate you coming out with the heart to have that same conversation with us, you know?
I had one question. So, is there anything you want to say to people out there about Harrison, Arkansas, or Zinc Road, or that all they know is that it's the most racist town?
Well, I sort of like that designation.
All right, we're gonna run with it. We're gonna rock with it. He's fucking with it.
Most racist town in America. And I was wondering if there's any way, like, we could have a future conversation with maybe other members of your guys' church, or maybe I can even attend a church service.
No.
Okay.
It is a racial church.
Oh.
It is an offshoot of Israeli identity.
Jesus.
Usually, you
hey,
know,
thanks for the sub.
Some people that find themselves racial, they don't like Jews and stuff like that. So that's kind of like it's kind of shocking to hear.
Well, we are not Jewish. Jews is not the chosen people. That the white race is.
Do you have anything to say to the boys and girls out there?
Oh, thanks for listening.
Listen, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Oh, also, is it bigger than black and white?
Yeah. What affects
heard it
one
too.
will eventually poison the other.
It is bigger than black and white. All right, thank you for your time.
Alrighty.
I mean, like, yeah, this is just kind of a bit pathetic, really. This video is a bit pathetic. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I think there's a lot of criticisms that you can make of this video. It's kind of like a misguided kind of, oh, let's go talk to the other side, and that guy is just clearly an idiot racist. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's obvious, and that's fine. But I feel like the idea that he's made him look good is, well, what was it that Ethan Klein said? What was it? Yeah, what was it Ethan Klein said? Like, obviously, it's just a bit cringe, and I watch it, and I'm like, oh god, it's kind of misguided, and oh god, I wouldn't personally do something like that. It just feels a bit like, what's the right? Do you see where I'm coming from? I know I'm not explaining myself very well. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he didn't. It's like you say, he didn't shoot me, so I guess he's okay. Like, you know, it's quite clear what he's saying and what he's talking about there. And it's a bit cucked. That's how I'm going to put it, okay? It comes across to me as a little bit cucked, right? There wasn't really pushback, but I don't really care so much about that. The guy made himself look stupid. I don't think it's that big a deal. But what did they say again?
Again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, letting someone walk all over your compassion. Yeah.
Deemed himself.
I need to get an energy drink.
Yeah. Now he's just running interference for the KKK.
much more minor than.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I went and met the leader of the KKK. He's actually a really good guy, you guys.
He didn't shoot.
Bro, I went and met the leader of the KKK. He's actually a really.
I mean, I don't know. Did he say that at all? I don't know.
Guy, you guys.
He didn't.
Okay. I was just having fun in this video, but that actually pissed me off, bro. That actually really pissed me off. That actually really pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite clear that he's not condoning what he said. It was misguided, right? It was misguided, that particular segment. But beyond that, that's about it. I don't think he's genuinely defending this. Like, I don't think this guy's sat there thinking, oh yeah, this guy is actually all right. Like, I'm pretty, like, when he talked about the racial church and stuff like that, it's quite clear that this made him uncomfortable and he sort of expressed it in a soft way. But I don't think he was, like, defending his takes or anything like that.
Actually. Guys. 4K, this is liberal racism. 4K, this is liberal racism. And the crazy thing about it is they can't wrap their minds around what liberal racism is. In their minds, there's no way a liberal can be racist. It's literally impossible. It's so patronizing, bro. They don't get it. They never will.
I mean, I disagree. I mean, maybe like there's a hint of it, but like to me, what Ethan is saying isn't like super bad. It's not the most egregious example. It's like very softly, maybe you could call it that. But I feel like Ethan's is more of a misplaced critique that he needs to tighten up rather than it being a really explicit example of liberal racism. That's my take on it.
They never will get it. This is so patronizing.
I guess you think.
God, his sound balancing is absolutely dreadful. Jesus, man, sort your sound balancing out. What on earth? Right, let's see what the interaction looks like.
Of that video was just that you went there and you're like, these guys are all like, we can talk with these people and we can have a conversation with them. You're talking to that KKK guy who was basically like, you can't come to my church, right?
Yeah, he said that.
And he thinks that like whites and black people should be separate.
Wait a second though. I feel like what's his name? Jidion. Is it Jidion? Is that it? Jidion. I feel like Jidion expressed some level of like discomfort at that, right? Like he did express some level of discomfort in that. And I think that Jidion's big mistake was appealing. He appealed to free speech. And maybe he wasn't trying to debate bro the guy. But then when the guy responded, he didn't really have an answer for that, you know? But yeah, like people are saying in chat, if he just wants to go and make a video and let this guy just say whatever, does he need to push back? Like, I don't really know if he does. But for me, I look at it and I just think it looks a bit cucked. However, there are clearly times when he did seem uncomfortable at some of the stuff the guy was saying.
Separated.
He does.
So I guess I just don't. You kind of just gave him a platform to talk uncontested. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to hear from you. What in that situation, for you to have not said that, what would you have liked me to like say or condemn him on in that situation?
Well, first I'll say I think we all see that the video had good intentions, and like we get what you're trying to do out there, and you know, I think, and I've made this mistake before when I've had people like Jordan Peterson on, or even Joey Salads. I once debated him, and the problem is when you talk with people that incendiary, with that like undefensible, and a lot of them lie and mislead shit. You kind of have to be equipped to respond to it appropriately, right? You kind of have to be prepared. Otherwise, they're left.
So this is okay. The big thing with the pushback meme is this, okay? What people act like there's some sort of moral imperative for you to push back on someone, okay? I've really moved away from that position, and I think what it comes down to is personal taste, okay? That's what this conversation always comes down to, is some people just want to see you push back because they prefer it, right? I don't think there's this like necessarily moral imperative every time to push back, especially in that format. But clearly, Ethan is in a position where he's thinking, I would have liked to have seen you push back. And I'm in the same position as well, because I like seeing a debate and a conversation and stuff like that, right? But I also recognize that that maybe wasn't what he was trying to do. And there's other people that will watch that, and they're not necessarily looking to see a debate. They're not necessarily looking to see a contentious conversation. They're happy to just see the guy speak and say some stuff that's a bit racist, and that's enough, you know? So I really think that going forward, I think that this is something that I've obviously thought about a lot, and it's really just clicked there, I guess. But like, it's all about personal taste, right? Push back as much or as little as you want. Some people are going to like it, and some people aren't going to like it, right? I'd say there's extremities. So, for example, if you just had some racist guy come on, right, and you just let them speak without interruption at all for like an hour, and it was like just some egregious stuff, then yeah, that's like an extreme example of it, right? So I think that like there's probably some extreme examples which you can point to. Thank you for the sub, which are, you know, like, Jesus, that's a bit much. But broadly speaking, I think often what it comes down to is just one's personal taste. And some people just don't like hearing things that are egregious, you know? It's like, I can't remember, there was a debate I had. Because my logic sometimes with it is sometimes people will just say stuff that is so insane that there's absolutely no way you could look at it unless you're a racist yourself and go, actually, that guy's got some good points, right? The problem is when it's wrapped up in charisma and stuff and so on, that could be an issue. But sometimes people will just say a bunch of crazy shit, and like 80% of people are going to be like, God, this guy's insane. And that's fine. You can allow that to happen. And I don't think you need to have a logical, well thought out answer to something if someone is just saying something racist, because most people are going to look at it and go, yeah, that's racist, you know? Like, most people are going to hear a racial church and they're going to be like, damn, that's a bit much. Why do you need a racial church in America for? Etc., 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 you know? I guess that's my kind of overall take on this.
To say whatever they want,
let's see how it plays out.
Unchecked, and in a way, you kind of just let the guy give his platform out, and without being, you know, without challenging him in a way that I think would have been meaningful. But that being said, you know, I understand what you were trying to do, and it was.
So, do you feel like I came in there like unequipped, and you know I wasn't prepared, really, and I just kind of gave him a platform? Like, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But is that what you think? I came in there unequipped.
I think that you are, yeah, a little bit, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, to say to that, actually, I know, you know, from the title, it's kind of like you probably were thinking, oh yeah, he went there to, you know, say racism doesn't exist. But actually, when I don't know if you realized the outfit I had on, I was like sagging, had a white tank top. I really had no idea what type of video I was gonna do there.
Yeah.
Because
aren't there exclusively black churches? I don't think there's such a thing as a black church. I think there's some churches which are so deeply in a black community that there's mainly black people there. But I think if you were white and you tried to get in, like, it's not very Christian, is it? Right, hang on a sec. What race are you? Okay, you can't come in. Like, the whole point of Christianity, I thought, was kind of bringing people into the fold and stuff like that. I don't think there's any such thing as a, blacks only church. No.
I've never been there. I just seen the video and stuff. But when I got there, got to talking to the minorities of the place, figuring out, and then learning that, okay, it's not actually the town of Harrison. It's this little town of Zinc where, the KKK comes.
Okay, but listen, Walt, you're being really stupid now. Gospel church is traditionally black. That's what I just said, right? I don't think there's such a thing as a church, right, where they say you can't come in if you're white, okay? Yes, they're predominantly black. Most people there are black, but you can still go in if you're white. They're not going to stop you from coming in. Whereas what that guy was talking about, right, was quite clearly you can't come in unless you're white. That's a very different thing. Do you understand the difference between the two things?
Compound is. Then going over to Zinc, finding out it's not even the town of Zinc. It's literally just that compound and how pretty much everybody in that area doesn't like them. And, I got everybody else's opinion about it. Everybody was cussing them out, talking about how much they dislike them. And then, I go on his property to go talk to him. And me personally, I feel as though to grow as humans, like if I was just to go there and he talked and I'm like, you fucking racist, you're wrong. Obviously would have got a lot of clicks, would have got a lot of views and everything. But at the end of the day, what would have God done? I don't
think that's the only way to confront people, right? I mean, you don't have...
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is it's enough for Jidion to just say, that's not really what I was trying to do. I wanted to hear their perspective. But now he's saying like, oh, I could have gone and said you're a racist. Well, no, you don't need to say he's a racist at all. You can just point out the inconsistencies and the problems in the arguments and the point that he's making. That's it. For example, when he spoke about, this country of white people, talk about indigenous people. When he's using the First Amendment to talk about companies firing people, talk about the inconsistencies that exist there in his argument, right? You don't need to like call him a racist, but like, I don't think it's right to say, oh, well, what was I going to do? Call him a racist? Well, no, either say it was my documentary. This is what I wanted to do. That was it. But don't fall back on this silly, like, oh, well, what was I supposed to do? Call him a... No, not at all. You don't have to do that at all.
Have to yell and scream and stuff. Like, that would be, I don't know. For me, it's like if I go to, like, neo-Nazis and be like, yo, we can have a conversation. You just want me to fucking die. But I don't know. I get what you were going for, right? And it's
like,
fun.
Let's say, you're Jewish, right?
Yes.
So let's say you did a video where you went to, like, a neo-Nazi camp and you had a conversation with them. And for the most part, it was a civil conversation. He said, he has to say, which is absolutely wrong and I don't agree with. And then, you say your piece and then you leave it at that. And let's say I was to hop on and be like, oh, look at Ethan parading for the neo-Nazis. He's all
I didn't say you're parading.
I think you said campaigning, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you said, I said like giving him a platform.
No, you said campaigning, but it's all good though. It's all good.
Well, it doesn't matter. But my intention was that I didn't say campaigning.
But I mean, I feel like it does matter because to me, it offended me,
Yeah.
And I know you like talked about Keem and everything Keem said. And like, bro, I'm not stupid. We all know the video where Keem said the hard R like what, 3-4 times. And, me personally, I don't consider him a racist. Like, no offense. You said the hard R like 2-3 times. I don't consider you a racist. Like people say stuff. It's like, I know a racist and I know, someone that just says something. And that guy was a racist. But I knew going there that he wasn't going to change his mind. And that's not what I wanted to go there for. I'm not going there to try to change his mind because it's just not going to happen. And I feel like that's the problem where the left and the right get into an endless debate where one side tries to say changes the other side's mind. Then the other side gets mad that they're trying to change their mind. So they want to rebel against them. And it's another ending thing. I just wanted to put out there what they thought. And then I feel like the rest of the video spoke.
I'm so sick of all this like platforming arguments and stuff like that. Like, think of the last 3 years. Think of the worst example of platforming that you can think of, right? Now point me to the outcomes, the negative or bad outcomes that have come as a result of that negative platforming, There's probably some stuff that I could point to, but that would be like, say, CNN bringing on Richard Spencer in a like not particularly critical way. Because I think the problem there is you're exposing him without much kind of criticism to maybe people that don't really know what he's about, and people can walk away being like, oh, well, you know, he seemed like a pretty reasonable guy. But even that, which is probably some of the worst examples of platforming over the past probably longer than that, 4 or 5 years. But I use 3 years because that's how long I've been streaming. But like even that, what's the eventual outcome of that? Like where is Richard Spencer now? I don't know. I just feel like often these platforming arguments are made in ignorance to what the actual outcomes are, and often we don't really see particularly negative outcomes. Like through the passage of time, it kind of comes out in the wash, you know. The rise in far right terrorism. Where? What rise in far right terrorism? You sound like a right winger talking about Islamist terrorism 10 years ago. Do you realize that? It's exactly the same fucking vibe that I get when people say stuff like that. You can do that. Oh, what? You've got to be kidding me, right? No, I'm not kidding you. Talk to me about this rise in far-right terrorism that's happened, okay? Are there some examples of far-right terrorism? Yes. But you're acting like rightoids did about Islamist terrorism 10 years ago. It's exactly the same thing that you're doing. Where? Okay. Where? What is that? Okay. What do you think? Okay. The thing is you act like there's been this enormous rise, and you act like there's this massive threat of like you dying from right-wing fucking terrorism. Where? Show it to me. You're more likely to die from a fridge falling on top of you than a far-right terror attack. It's insane. It's the same sort of fucking mentality.
Look for itself. It's like, even though there's this much hatred,
why did you want to put out what they thought, or why did you want to put out what they thought?
It's the same reason why, you know, you talk about Andrew Tate. You know, it needs to be talked about.
Did you criticize it though?
I did. I feel like it's pretty obvious that I stand against everything he says.
Yeah, I think I can boil it down to this point, which is basically,
thank you for the sub.
There's some things that are not even, if you engage it, it legitimizes it in a way that like it doesn't even need to be engaged. Like it's not even.
Let me ask you this, right? What are the chances of you dying in a far-right terrorist attack? Even if there's been an increase, is it substantive enough that you need to worry about it, right? What do you think the chances are of you dying in a far-right terrorist attack in America?
In a conversation. Like if I went to a Nazi rally, I was like, tell me about why you think all Jews should die. It's like, that's not going to be a productive conversation simply by the fact that there's no real way to justify that. And even by engaging it like it's
yeah, has your daily life changed as a result of far-right terrorism in the United States?
Reasonable argument, you in a way legitimize it and turn that conversation into what, like a legitimate conversation that's really not.
It's not a legitimate conversation. That's why I wasn't adding on to it. That's why I wasn't agreeing with him. I just let him talk. And I said, well, why can't I join the church? It was more to flesh out everything that he thought. Because when you really get down to it,
like, you know, if let's say there's been a rise and it's been from like 1% to 5% or 10% or whatever, right? First of all, right, it's not something you really need to be worried about. And second of all, how can you demonstrate that that's linked to this platforming stuff that I'm talking about?
Said everything he thought, and then he ended up saying that more white people hurt him and offended him on his life than black people. So it's like, okay, if white people did more bad stuff to you in your life than black people, but you'll let white people into your church, then where is this hatred of black people coming from and other races coming from? So then that's what I was trying to get down to. Is he's already showing, he said in the video, I think he said, I haven't had a problem with black people. I've had more problems with white people, but there's still this stigma of this racism. So obviously it boils down to something.
Okay, you can point to an individual example of like a mass shooting. Where's your data? Give me your data. Give me your data.
And I feel like as a generation, the more we talk about it, the more that it will be excluded because we see it's wrong. And if you look at it today, I feel like in any point in time in history, especially here in America, you know, racism is going down more and more and more as the new generation sees.
So don't you think he was able to? I mean, his message to you, because he knows he's on camera, was very scaled back, right? Like if you had a hidden camera and him and his homie talking about black people or Jews or whatever, it would have been a lot more vile. So in a way, he was able to do some nice PR on camera for you. And also, I will say at one point that really kind of took me back is when you guys ended your conversation and he said, is there anything you want to say to the people? And he goes, thanks for listening. And I was like, oh, damn, that's kind of fucked up that he got to just like platform his beliefs like that. That all being said, I think the video is overall good, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, you fucked up and the video's horrible and you should never made it. I think what Hassan was originally trying to do was just, level some criticism at your approach, and I think ultimately maybe you got a little defensive about it, but I understand that as well.
I got defensive about it. Me personally, I feel me being upset about it was justified, but I should have took more time to, react to his video and your video beforehand, where I can have all my points written down, where I can say it in a cohesive manner and stuff. But that's not what happened. I like to do live reactions, and I'm
yeah, I get it. Me too.
So I got emotional, and I said that. I feel like my, how I feel still stands, but I feel like now coming on here, I kind of got to flesh out more of how I thought. You're not racist, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Then.
No. But I don't understand. I still don't understand the accusation of me being a liberal racist.
I feel like you were exhibiting liberal racism.
So how? I just don't understand that, because that's a pretty harsh thing to level against someone.
And I feel that. So I'm gonna tell you why I think you were exhibiting liberal racism.
Yeah.
So in the left side, I feel they're pretty strong allies with the black community, BLM. But I feel like especially the entire black community, what we're starting to see is, especially around election time, we're more used for votes than it is for actually helping our people. I think it was a George Floyd bill that was supposed to be signed after he had died about police brutality and everything. But that bill to this day still hasn't been signed. But I think an Asian Lives Matter bill has been signed by him. And I feel also that some LGBTQ bill was signed by him. But that bill, it was around the George Floyd era, but that bill to this day has yet to been signed. And
how was I being a liberal racist?
So how you were being a liberal racist is, instead of you saying, if you would have said, hey, Jidion, you gave him a platform, man. You should have attacked this more. I see, the way you said it there, cool. But in the video, there goes Jidion campaigning for the neo-Nazis. And, and what we call that in the black community? You probably don't know what that is because, you're not in the black community. But basically, a lot of other black people have the same sentiment. It's basically you kind of call me an Uncle Tom. So like an Uncle Tom is someone.
I know.
Okay. All right, listen, you send me a lot of stuff. What's this? Just 11% of referrals to the government's controversial PREVENT program are ultimately deemed to be at risk of radicalization, with the largest number of referrals relating to right-wing extremism. Home Office data shows there were 6,200 referrals, 10% compared to the previous year. 697 out of a country of 60-something million were deemed at risk of radicalization and taken on. Of the cases ultimately referred to channel, 302 were referred for right-wing radicalization. Oh boy. Shit. I'm supposed to be going to London tomorrow. I think I'm going to have to cancel it in case I get wiped out by some right-wing incel dude or something.
Uncle Tom is, yeah. No,
one of the 302.
Yeah. So you're basically calling me Uncle Tom.
No,
but
I think all me and Hassan said was that you just were a little ill-equipped to handle that delicate of a conversation. That's it. I don't understand how that implies you're an Uncle Tom, so to speak. Or maybe I'm missing. But
something. That's the thing, like you and Hassan, no offense to y'all, but you guys stay in y'all studios and you talk about it from afar. And I think in Hassan's video, he said he looks at the empirical data, but I'm pretty sure before he reacted to that video, he didn't even know what Harrison, Arkansas was. But it's just like, where it's someone like me, I might not be as smart as y'all. It is what
I don't think it's about that. First of all,
I wanted to go to the field where it said it's the most racist town. I put myself at harm. I put my film at harm.
Yeah.
But we went there, and I feel like we've brought something, for the world to see, because that video, you see that video and you say, oh, yeah, the video I'm talking about in question where the guy has a BLM sign and it says, and everybody was calling him the N-word lover and all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Was that in the video?
No, it was the video that inspired. Like it was the original.
I definitely agree that like the concept and you going there was super brave, not knowing what to expect. Like I totally agree that like the video premise is interesting and you're super brave to go there. I just don't know that. Again, I just don't know that I understand still yet the liberal racism.
So the liberal racism part is, it feels, you're a white man telling me, oh, Jidion doesn't understand like this racism. He doesn't really quite understand it. He was ill prepared. He was unequipped. He didn't know what he was talking about. He should have been more prepared. It kind of sounds like, like whether you wanted to sound like that or not, like you should have been in that situation because you could have been better prepared for it.
That's a leap. I don't think so. I definitely am not equipped to have that conversation.
I think the reality is that he kind of Ethan's criticism was misguided, I think. And it was more of a personal preference. Like I felt the way he put it was that there was some sort of like onus on Jidion to like perform the way that he wanted to perform, And it's like, look, hey, thank you for the bits. It's like, look, if you don't want to do that, then like that's fine, you know. Like I don't think there's any onus on him to do it. He was clearly trying to do something else, and I think Ethan got into that thing where like he was kind of like popping off a bit, and then just his criticisms went a bit overboard, and then before you know it, he's sort of saying like, oh, he's essentially running defense for the KKK. I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of roughly the vibe he was going for, right? And I just think that's excessive. I think that if you really want to critique his video, that's fine, but I can see how the way he said it, it's been interpreted as this liberal racism thing.
You know, as a Jewish person, that's not my thing. I think obviously you're
but you gave an opinion on me being unequipped for it. Like
so
you said,
let me ask you this: Is it possible for a black person to not be equipped for that conversation, or are they all just perfectly equipped by the nature of being a black American?
it's not the fact about me being equipped or not. It's the fact that me wanting to have the conversation.
So am I not allowed to point that out without being a racist?
No, you can point out anything you want, and I have the right to disagree with anything you say. There was a black man, I don't know if you know about this, he would go to Klan rallies, and he would literally watch them do their burning of the crosses. He would talk to them, and eventually, the white man he was talking to eventually realized, wow, what I'm doing is wrong, and he actually left being a Nazi, and he brought a lot of other people with him. And so it's like, you know, it'll be the same thing if you told that black man when he went, and the thing about that black man, he wouldn't even go there disagreeing with them. He literally did the same thing I did. He went there just to hear what they had to say. And eventually, when you talk to someone and you just keep on spewing what you believe, and they don't retaliate or give you their opinion, but they just listen, then you realize, wow, what I'm saying is kind of fucked up. I know I'm pretty sure
I know the guy, Daryl Davis, he's super interesting guy.
What's the difference between what he did and what I did?
Well, if you want, first of all, he didn't record it and put it on YouTube, but
he made a documentary about it.
Yeah, but also he spent a lot of time building a relationship with these people, right? And speaking off camera, speaking candidly with them. I mean, if you really want to know what's the difference, I mean, you had one short conversation with this guy in which you said you can't come to my church, and he even was unwilling to shake your hand. It basically turned around. So like,
actually, I shook his hand.
You did, okay.
I shook his hand. So,
well, anyway, I mean, obviously he developed a deeper relationship with them, because like you said, clearly you're not changing their mind in any way, which it's very difficult to do. I mean, they're so entrenched in their ideology, but what you did and what he did is very different. No,
so I guess the only difference is he changed his mind because he had more time to be with them and I didn't.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know about his approaches, but he certainly had a lot more time to build.
All Ethan needs to say is like, maybe some of the stuff I said was maybe said in jest and it was excessive or whatever he wants to phrase it. Me personally, I just would have preferred if you'd have been a bit more, if you'd have debated some of the points more rigorously. And Jidion can go, well, that's not really what I was trying to do. My goal was more this, and then that's it, right? That's where we can end it. But, you know, we've got these kind of almost entrenched positions now. And, like, I don't know if I'd refer to it as, like, liberal racism. That seems like an excessive way to refer to it. But I can understand why Jidion would be annoyed that Ethan and his matey were saying the things that they were saying about the video. Because, like, that's something he's put together. And yes, it's for content, but clearly it means something to him that he's gone and done that. And to kind of write it off as just like, well, you were just giving cover for this racist dude. Especially when at parts of the video, he was clearly uncomfortable and made a few comments that seemed to suggest he was kind of disagreeing. Yeah. Not good. Not good.
Relationships and have candid conversations about it off camera.
So would you say he was more prepared? Like,
definitely.
But what was he more prepared with besides the fact, because obviously he had more time with them. So how can I not be getting prepared for that? You know, what if I go back there and I get to talk to him again?
That'd be great.
But would I still be unprepared?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of prep. I don't know. I mean, look, you're a young man. You know, I know the guy who did that was like older. He had been through a lot of shit. So I think I don't know what preparation necessarily looks like. I would assume it's more about being prepared to, you know.
It's like what it is like a Rocky montage, but instead of running upstairs, you're reading like the Turner Diaries. You know, you're going into your local town and debating guys with swastika tattoos and stuff like that. That's what preparation looks like.
Respond to whatever they're talking. You got to be prepared for it. They have logical fallacies that they say and stuff. It's just a matter of being prepared to have that dialogue and knowing like what's the best way to neutralize or cut through logical fallacies and stuff like that.
Okay, what I'd love to see here is for Jidion to say to Ethan, okay, what would you have said? What specifically would you have said to him? Right? Because I feel like he's kind of dancing around it a bit. But like, what would you have said to, you know, achieve the goal I was trying to achieve and get a bit more of the pushback you're looking for?
And and I think experience too, as a human being, just being able to like connect with people on a deep empathetic level that you get from age, frankly. But I'm not saying it's,
you know,
I'm not saying it's impossible for a young man to do it either.
I'm not. I mean, you know, I'm not a debater like you. You and Hassan, you guys.
Not really
make a living
debater,
off
but,
of.
yeah.
Okay, well, Hassan, he makes his living off of being a debater and everything. I'm
No,
not a
he
debater.
doesn't.
I'm more of.
No, he doesn't at all. Oh my God, no, that's the worst thing he said yet.
You know, obviously a prankster, but I wanted to show a different side of me, and I feel like that video really did show a different side of me, where
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
show more of my interviewing skills, more of less of the trolling, and more of me just.
Hassan is a debater if you have requisite clout to enter the debate sphere. If you don't, forget about it.
Asking the questions, you know, like Nico did the same video, and he actually got to talk to the leader of the KKK. But you know, I don't see.
I agree, man. There's nothing wrong with it. But do you find it ironic to, on one hand, call me a liberal racist for criticizing your preparedness to have that conversation while doing a Nazi Hitler salute in front of a KKK building?
I mean, you know, it's ironic.
It is
Obviously,
ironic, right?
a black man doing that. It's like the same thing with the context of you saying the F word and the N word multiple times on IDub stream. You know,
God.
were you saying it out of racism? Yes or no?
Why didn't you tell me this was in there?
No.
So obviously, so
you're
was I
doing
doing
that
that out of racism?
So what,
Guys, just to be clear, oh shit, I've paused on it now. Just go,
the
get off the
context?
screen.
The
Get off the
context is,
screen. Just get off the
obviously,
screen.
I'm just joking around.
I don't think you can do that in Fortnite. Just to be clear.
Joking around about the situation,
Did
but more
I
the
don't
fact
think the Nazis really
making
even
fun of
hated
them.
black people that much. I think they did. Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
the
they
Nazis.
definitely-
Yeah, okay.
If
So
you want, if you wanted the Aryan race, they didn't like you.
But yeah,
because I remember they like Hitler was obsessed with like that Olympian.
well, he
stuff
thinks
like that. I don't know.
Jews were at the very bottom of the totem pole, but he had a whole totem pole, and black people were pretty far down there too. Anybody that wasn't blonde, blue-eyed,
Aryan race.
basically, was a lower person. So
Okay, so this is okay, cool.
Yeah. But I just want to come on here like, you know what? I feel like I didn't, you know, really display my true feelings. So I hope you know my true feelings now. You know, I'm not expecting an apology or anything like that, but like this is exactly what I want to do. It's like having the conversation instead of us having to beef on Twitter for years and, you know, doing the L3. Because I don't know if you know this, but I actually grew up on you, you know, Vape Nation, y'all. Like I grew up on you. I feel like you inspired a lot of my career and everything.
Anyway, he's reclaiming it. They can't do me for that. He's reclaiming it. Right, that's racism if you do anything about that.
So you tweeted out like 2 days ago, I missed the old H3. What does that mean?
Oh man, bro, you know, we missed the old H3 where you and Hilo, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just to be clear, like the Nazoids did not like there was a whole thing where they had the games, didn't they? I mean, a lot of the world was racist, but they were turbo racist.
Where you guys would just sit down, react to videos, make comedy sketches. You know the old H3, the H3 that was trying to raise a bunch of money to fight a lawsuit battle. I remember actually I was trying to donate my first paycheck to you because around this time you were raising money for I forgot the dude's name, but Matt Hoffman or Matt.
Hey, Chud Logic, I just wanted to mention, you said in Discord this is a Fortnite Dragon Ball Z sponsorship. Actually, Dragon Ball Z has been over for quite some time. This is a partnership with Dragon Ball Super. There's a big distinction, and I hope you'll take more time to do proper research on your sponsors in the future. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
But you reached the goal way before I could even send in that paycheck and stuff. So that's
awesome.
old H3 I'm talking about.
But it seems like when people say that, it's more like detractors who are like, I don't like what he's become now. So I guess I'm curious, what is it that I do that you don't like these days? Just to give you an opportunity to talk about it.
It's not necessarily that I don't like what you do now. It's just me personally.
You like the old stuff.
I like the old stuff.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we think of the heyday. You know, people are going to say the same thing about me. People are going to be like, oh, man, I miss the old Jidion. And I understand, you know, we have to grow up and everything. And, you know, I feel like you maybe took a turn further off the road than most people do with their careers. But, hey, it's working. You know, you have a successful brand for you. You have people like Dan, W employees in the chat. Dan in the chat,
definitely dubs. For sure.
You know, I can't hate on you like that. You know, you got a beautiful family and everything. So, you know, I'm not gonna hate on you for that.
Anyway, there we go, guys.
But, you know, just shouting out the old H3 members.
Takes provided.
So it was like a shout out to being like, yo, this guy's old content rules. But
like,
I
remember the old days. Yeah, it's like remember the old days. Yeah.
Takes provided.
So anyway, but ultimately I want to wrap it up and say, you know, it's not like I hated the video or even that I had very strong opinions about it. I think it just turned into this back and forth that kind of turned interesting. The orangutan thing was kind of nuts. So, but I'm glad we could talk it out.
For you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on Matthew for that. But also, if you go on my community tabs on my second channel, you'll see like 3 or 4 months ago, he had posted one thumbnail. I was like, bro, sorry if we had to delete that other thumbnail because Matthew was wild.
What was it? That's what I said.
Oh man, I forget. But he's a 17-year-old. You know, I hired a 17-year-old.
He's good.
Wait, hang on a sec. Hang on. I didn't mean it like HH. I didn't mean it like, you know, I didn't mean it like that.
I mean, yeah, I like that he expresses himself a little bit there, but I guess sometimes you take it too far. I click that shit. I was like, I said what?
I heard what you said about you know, I gotta be more around. So, you know, before things go up, you know, I'm gonna take criticism where criticism is due. I'm gonna, you know, make sure before things go out. So if it's not on my part, I can nip it in the bud so situations like this don't happen. And, you know, I'm not gonna tell you what to do because this is obviously your business, but I would just say going in the future, especially talking about issues like regarding other races,
issues, baby.
I would say maybe have more self-awareness of like what you're saying, because you got to realize different races have different fights they're going against, because obviously you talk about so many different topics, so obviously you're going to end up talking about different races. So I would just say more of have like a look on, okay, what could this race be going through at a time where, you know, could my comments maybe offend someone or offend this race? And I would say if you go in with that more forethought, because what you said here, if you would have said that in your video, I would have not said anything. It would have been like, you know what?
Yeah,
fair point. You know, I can see that.
based.
Maybe next time, next interview, I can interject more and, you know, be like, okay, guys, you know, don't listen to that part. But, you know, you give me room to make corrections for the future. You more have just made a statement that low-key I felt was patronizing. But you know what? I feel like we squashed it off here, and there's no hard feelings.
No, there's no hard feelings. I never did. I like you. I think you're funny. I think you're talented, and I think you have a bright future.
That means a lot.
Hey, thank you for the sub.
Just so you know, like when I said the N-word, that was wrong, right? Like I apologize for that, and I've learned a lot.
Oh
and
no!
that's something that
No, why is he doing this? You don't have to do this, bro. You don't have to do this. I promise you, you don't have to do this, okay? You don't have to apologize for this stuff. Like, Jesus Christ. He even said earlier, I don't think Jidion even cares. Like, he didn't really seem to care that much earlier, right? Like, Jesus, man, this is so cringe. Oh, why would you do this? Jesus.
We're due now. And I hope you know that about the Nazi salute as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Even in the context of you're Jewish, so I apologize if that offended you. And you know, I was hoping that it was pretty well known that.
Now Jidion's doing it again. No, stop this apologizing. Stop apologizing.
Ironic, but you know, it seemed to take offense to you. So since it took offense for you, I'll apologize on my end. So I appreciate you apologizing, and I apologize on my end as well.
There you go. Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you being mature and calling in and saying what.
Soy everywhere.
And, you know, I don't like beef. You know,
but you know,
do
you know what? Do you know what should have happened? That this would have been based. Ethan should have called him the N-word, and then he should have done the Roman salute back. That would have been the based ending.
And you know, I saw you got in trouble with some pokey stuff, and you guys squashed the beef. I thought that was cool too. But again, it's not like a heavy criticism. You know, it's just some comments. But I understand. It's all good. I understand getting feeling patronized as well, so it's all good. I apologize.
I appreciate that, Ethan. Thank you.
What do I apologize for?
What?
Yeah, I apologize.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Roman and Nazi salute are the same thing.
Anyway, thank you, bro. Appreciate you calling in.
Hey, everybody in the chat, W podcast, W stream right now. You guys can still call me Jidion. It's all good.
No, we've been calling you Jidion today.
Jidion.
We Jidion? Okay.
W
Bake Nation, y'all.
Oh, Bake Nation, bro. All right.
Love you, Dan.
Thanks, bro.
Love you, Dan.
Dan became the hero.
The hero we don't deserve.
But I wasn't sure what I was. And I don't mean to be offensive.
I think it's more of like that he's young, and if you felt like he was being too targeted, you apologize that.
Anyway, guys,
I guess
you've been there.
That's the end of that segment. Okay, that's the end of that segment. We're done. We covered it. Listen, sponsor-friendly content. We're loving life here.